This is the time where I got banned from church. So essentially what happened was I bit the priest. Yep, I that's how it's starting off this video, guys. That is not why I got banned from church. I did not accidentally bite a priest, guys. So here's what happened, guys. I was in church. Now, I used to go to church studies. They call this Bible class. And I would go there every Wednesday. You heard that correctly. Wednesday, not Saturday, not Sunday, not on the weekends, on Wednesday. So I would come home from middle school. And people used to laugh at me like, "Oh, you go to church on a Wednesday?" Yes. And it would be church class. I'd come home 2 to 3 o'clock from school, sit down, put up some Call of Duty, start playing some survival mode from MW3. And depending on how I felt, or maybe some zombies from Black Ops 1. And then what would happen is I would have to wait till like 6 o'clock, get up, go to church for about 2 to 3 hours of church class. Yes. So we would come to church class, go to our assigned classrooms. Yes, this was at a Catholic church. And after you go to your assigned classrooms, you sit there, you wait for everybody to show up, you take attendance, you march up into mass, you dab your little fingers, you do the cross or whatever, you sit down, you have some priest tell you some story about, the Bible, blah, blah, blah. You all pray in unison. And then after that, you go downstairs, you get these cheap little pamphlets, and everybody, we need donations to keep these lights on. Wow, the Jesus piece on this priest was crazy. Like, he did not have a cross. He did not have a cross. People think, the priest had a golden cross. Dog, he actually had Jesus. Like, it was a 6-foot cross of actual Jesus, platinum with diamonds. I'm like, oh my God. He used to carry it like this beside him. I'm sitting there like, what is going on here? But guys, give them donations. Excuse me. Here's the point. You would go downstairs and get these cheap little pamphlets. Now, I'm looking at these pamphlets, and these got to be some of the most egregious pamphlets I've ever seen inside my entire life. I'm going to tell you what. Here's what makes them egregious. This was on the cover of one of the pamphlets. You get Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, because I'm no longer Catholic, I'm Christian. There's a huge distinction. I mean, I can go over all the differences. I can make 3 hours long of all the differences, lots of differences. But here's the point. You go down here, you open up the pamphlet, the cover, you grab it, look at it. It is Jesus on the cross, covered in scars, covered in wounds, dehydrated. He is nailed onto the cross, with the nails in there. And he's like looking at you like this, and he's all covered in muck, all that. And it has his thought bubble above his head. And this is what it said. I will never forget this because I was cracking up, y'all. I was laughing. So he's like this, and it says in the thought bubble, "You want to join me in paradise?" That's paradise? What? What are you talking about? You're nailed on who thought that was a great creative idea? Who drew that? Who made the blueprint for that to be drawn? Who gave that the thumbs up, printed it, and sent it out? Jesus nailed on a cross, dehydrated, covered in muck, scars, wounds, covered in this horrifying image of the Lord and Savior, and put a thought bubble saying, "You want to join me in paradise?" Well, if that's paradise, no fucking thank you. Who thought that was a good idea? That was not a good idea. Okay? Like, why couldn't it have been, Jesus and there's clouds and it's beautiful with a sun shining and, stairs and a gate and all that. And everybody's like, ha, 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 in the background. Why'd it gotta be the most, horrifying picture of the man, before his last seconds? Why? Who thought that was a good idea? But anyway, that was the pamphlet. This place sucks. It sucks, okay? It sucks. I can't lie about it. And here's the thing. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, it's horrible. You're saying you hate church, blah, blah." I've always been against churches. Guys, don't go to church. I've always say this. Do not go to church. I do not believe in going to church. Your relationship is between you and God. You don't need some priest. You don't need some pope. You don't need some nun to tell you, "You need to do this. You need to do that. And oh my God, guys, look at this. Look at this. Give me $55 and I'll wipe away your sins." Da, 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 da. Guys, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Okay? You talk to God. You talk to Jesus yourself. Okay? So when I want to talk to God, I'll talk to God. I don't need some guy with a fucking $700 watch to tell me that I'm not doing it right and to give him $50 to get it correct. You hear? Okay? It makes myself very clear. So that's what I think. Anyway, I'm going to this church class. There's this fat kid named Jacob. Don't like him. Now, me and Jacob, we had this rivalry that goes all the way back to elementary school. Now, let me tell you why me and Jacob don't like each other. Well, because Jacob looks like an armadillo with no shell. So, here's the thing with Jacob. Jacob is such a crybaby. Now, he's not a complainer. He's not a whiner. He's not a trash talker. He's not a ranter. He's a crybaby. And I hate crybabies. Right? There's a difference between being a ranter, complainer, a whiner, and a crybaby. A crybaby, and it just makes you like, yeah. Ooh, hey, buddy, is that a blunt object I see? Ooh, I love blunt objects. They look very good next to your skull. Guys, I hate Jacob. I hate him. I hate him. I hate you. I fucking hate you. I always hated him. So back in elementary school, this is what happened. We were playing, we're all running, it's recess. We're all a bunch of kids. Ha-ha! Hoo-hoo! Hee-hee! People are climbing on the monkey bars. Oh, watch out below! Coming down from the slides. What I used to do, I used to get on the swing sets. I used to just get as high as possible and jump off like, ah! And splat. And then the teacher's would be like, Johnny, stop splatting yourself on the ground. Stop doing that. And I'd get up covered in dirt like, I like the pain. Right? And everybody else would play kickball. Oh, that's another thing I used to do. I used to bother people on the playground. If you're playing kickball, if you don't know what kickball is, pretty much just imagine baseball, but instead of swinging a bat, you kick a ball. What I used to do is anytime they would roll the ball, I would run by. I'm not part of the game, by the way. I'd run by, I'd pick up the ball and run as far as I can. Like, Johnny, give us the ball! And I would throw it on top of the school. The fucking ball on top of the school! I'm like, no kickball, no kickball. I used to do that to everyone. If you're playing basketball, I'd grab the ball, run, and throw it on top of the school. And they would have to get the janitors to come and they would have to get the janitors to get, the janitors would come out, get a ladder, go on top of the thing, and throw it back down. Stop it, Johnny, you gotta stop doing that. And I'm like, all right, and I would do it again, and I grabbed the foot. I just kept throwing every single ball on top of the school roof. I forgot I did that, it just occurred to me. I forgot I was doing that. I did that all the time. But here's the thing. I like having fun during recess. So essentially, me and Jacob, I was play fighting with other kids. Now, I wasn't play fighting with Jacob. This is my first interaction with Jacob. I wasn't play fighting with them, but I'm play fighting with the other kids. We're putting each other in headlocks, and we, are punching each other, kicking each other. Jacob, for some reason, feels the need. I've never met this kid in my life before. Never met him. He grabs me. I've never seen him. So I'm just like, you play fighting. He grabs me, and he's like trying to put me in a hold. And I was like, yo, who is this guy? And he's like, and he's like trying to put me. I'm like, yo, who is this? Who invited him? And I mushed his face. I just mushed him off of me. It's like, nah. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Like, dude, we're play. Okay, hold on, guys. Who invited this guy? We're all play fighting. It was me and 3 other people. We were just play fighting. We're punching, kicking. He comes out of nowhere, grabs me. I mush his mata. And he starts throwing a hissy fit because I mushed him. And it's like, what are you doing? He goes and he tells, the lunch aide. I go to the front office, me and Jacob, and he's like, I just want to be part, I just want to play. I don't even know this guy. Who is he? I don't know him. I've never met him in my life. And then we had to apologize to each other. And ever since then, Jacob has been on my list of one day, Jacob, you're going to get what's coming to you. So here's what happened. Many years later, we fast forward into middle school. And I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest. For the next 4 to 5 years, I picked on him every single day. Because of that one interaction. I used to... Oh my God. I'm not even going to go into detail. But let's just say sometimes his gym clothes would go missing. Sometimes his gym shoes would end up in the toilet. Sometimes his lunch would get punched. I would just pick on him every single day. I couldn't stand him. I've never despised a human being so much because he would do this to everybody. He would and he would run and tell every time. He would and tell. Say, Jacob, I don't even care no more. So here's what happened. We're in church, and Jacob started lying on my name because we were in the same church class. Yeah, he started lying on my name. So here's how this came to be. Essentially, we're sitting down. We're on this long rectangular table. This table is 12 feet long. Okay, it's a 12-foot. If you've been to church, you know what I'm talking about. These big, long tables that you would see at like a party or a family gathering. And everybody, take that shit with you, son, on eBay for $3.99, would sit around these tables. Because it'd be like, 15 to 20 students to a class, and we'd all be sitting around, handing out the pamphlets, we'd be talking there. Oh, and it was horrible, because me and my older brother were in the same class. That was the worst thing ever, dude. Me and my brother were in the same class. Me and him had the same job at a point. When me and my brother are together, dude, it's hell. But here's the point. We're kind of like, we're kind of like our own little hell thing. And sometimes we'll go after some people and like do like a tag team and, give them something, right? Just imagine somebody who looks just like me with an afro. And is just like, oh my God, probably a little bit more cruel. Probably a little bit, is he more cruel? He's nicer, but more cruel. I don't know. Here's the point. Jacob started lying and saying that I was kicking him. This is what happened. So mind you, Jacob is 7 feet away. Jacob is on the other side of the table. He was saying I was kicking him under the table. Yes, because it's a long table. He was claiming that I was kicking him. Now, as somebody who has picked on him hundreds of times, I didn't kick him. I mean, how could I kick him? Unless I am Mr. fucking Fantastic, Stretch Leg Strong, or whoever the fuck. Guys, I was not kicking him. That is not physically possible. I cannot kick you when you are 6 to 7 feet away. That is not possible. Let me explain this to you. He is over there. I'm over here. Not possible. So anyway, he kept complaining to the teacher that I'm kicking him. Now, she never brought it up to me until he made his, 7th complaint. She was like, hey, he keep on complaining that you kicking him. He keep on complaining. Well, what the fuck you want me to do about it? Because for one, I'm not doing it. For two, you're stupid. And for three, both of you are stupid. Now, here's what would happen. She would move me to the other side of the table. So now I'm not 7 feet away from him, but I'm about 10 to 11 feet away from him. He then complaining that I was kicking him. And, this fucking chick is so stupid. She was like, you gotta stop kicking him. How could I possibly be doing that? Explain to me in the finest of details how I could possibly be kicking him when if I call his name, you would hear my voice echo. That's how far away I am from him. But I'm able to kick him. What? So now what happened was, I'll be honest. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I should have. I then started getting at Jay. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to pay and do the time, then I think I should just do the crime. Now, here's what happened. I started waiting for Jacob after church. I was like, listen here, Jacob. I'm going to hurt you. I said a couple of things to Jacob. And my brother's like, yo, chill. And I was like, yo, I'm not trying to hear this because now I've lost it. And I'm talking to Jacob one-on-one. So we're inside this parking lot at the church, and I chased him down. Right? Got right after him. And essentially what would happen is I would press him. I would say some things. Not going to go into detail of what I said. But I would say some things to him. Now, Jacob would then start. This is what he did. He grabbed his little Jesus pamphlet. He threw it on the ground. Blasphemy! And then He started flipping out. He's like, Johnny! Yeah. He started like screaming and wailing like he was getting disemboweled. Like he was just like, I don't. It was like this high pitched like pig squeal, something you'd hear in like a metal band, and just like this. And he was just making all these noises, and I just sang my name over and over. Very reminiscent of my time with his mother. But essentially what happened is he had like all these tears coming down his face, and he's like, and he was like shaking and crying, and snot and all that. And then I was just like, I started cracking up. I'm not even gonna lie, I just could not stop laughing, which that turned him from an angry cry into like a sad boy cry. I think the point was like he thought that, I guess that was supposed to like scare me. But actually, that made me not angry, and it actually made me laugh because it was so funny. And he would go from like an angry, I've had enough, to it's like, okay, leave me alone. And I'm just like, and he's like, and I'm like, and I'm like dancing around him laughing. And then what happened was one of these priests were like, what's going on here? I'm like, oh man, we're both about to get oh no. I would like to not go in your office without my parental supervision. But the priest like came in, we both got in trouble. And then I got banned from church because of that. Yes, I was told I was not allowed back in. But here's what happened, Dad. I came back the next day, and her name was Bertha. The stupid teacher I had. Her name was Bertha. Oh yeah, what a beautiful name, Bertha. But anyway, the stupid teacher I had, her name was Bertha. She would tell me I'm not allowed back in the church. So here's the funny part about me getting banned. What I decided to say was, what would Jesus do? Wouldn't he be forgiving? Now, I said that sarcastically because, you know, I'm a smartass. But for some reason, that was the right dialogue choice, and it worked, and I was forgiven, and I was told to come back, like, the next day, in which I did, in which this would be a Thursday, and I had to sit down and have, like, one of these stupid talks with, like, you know, priest, and, you know, Bertha was there, blah, 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 and I was able to come back to, take that shit with you, son, even for $3.99. I was able to go back to, to Bible studies, which was so awesome. And I got switched to another class. That was great. Having to sit there in another class and not know anybody in there was possibly the most annoying and frustrating thing. And like, everybody say hello to Johnny. Hi, Johnny. You. And I had to sit down and do that for the next 3 to 4 to 5 months. I can't even remember how much longer of that I had. But then I ended up getting my communion, my confirmation. I got baptized. All that, and the thing that I hated the most, there was like this ceremony, and I talked about this, where I got lit on fire. Yeah, I got lit on fire. What a great ceremony. Here's what happened, guys. We were all in mass, and we had to light these candles. And, I knocked out. I'm not gonna hold you. We're all sitting in these wooden benches. I knocked out. So we had these long candles, like that long, we're holding it. And at some point during this ceremony, you were supposed to blow out the candle. But, dog, I was slumped. Like, I was knocked the fuck out. Like, you ever have that time where, like, your eyes are, like... and you just can't eat, you just keep falling out. And that's how it was the entire ceremony. So, essentially, this candle burned all the way down to this. To the point I'm holding it. It's still, no one blew it out for me, right? Fell asleep. Apparently, you're supposed to blow it out. I'm like... My entire hand was caked in wax. And all I could do was hold it and just squeeze it, because I didn't want to throw it on the ground or like whip it and like, you know, get everybody else covered in wax. So I'm just sitting there like silently screaming to myself like, as this wax running down my entire hand and my arm and my knuckles. I'm just... Yo, I had to eat that shit, dog. That was horrible. But then after that, I went there. I got all my stuff. I got baptized, blah, blah, blah. I ended up leaving, obviously, the church after I got everything. Never ended up showing up back to church. Unless I was working in, like, soup kitchen things. By soup kitchens, when you're just making sandwiches for the homeless, which is something I did multiple times. And I always recommend that if you have a soup kitchen near you, or if you have, little places where you can make food for the homeless or donate, I always recommend that people should do that. If you do have the time, of course. That was something I used to do all the time, making sandwiches for the homeless. And what would happen is, like, in an assembly line, you make them, you pack them, you wrap them, we would all put them into boxes, and then we'd have these people that would hand them out. I've always loved participating in that. But here's another thing. After that, I would end up leaving Catholicism and I would go on my own religious venture, I guess. And essentially, I was raised in a Catholic family, baptized, communion, confirmation as a Catholic. I then started, looking into different religions. That being every religion you can pretty much think of from different regions of the world. And by the time I was 17 to 18, I started looking into Buddhism. That was something I started looking into. And understanding the earth and why everything's the way it is. And, I started understanding, the ideas of reincarnation. And I went on my own, like, religious venture. And after many years of, looking into different religions and, thinking that maybe there is a God, maybe there isn't a God, and and looking into Catholicism, into Islam, looking into, Confucianism and Buddhism and Hinduism and all that, it landed me into Christianity. So yeah, I ended up becoming a Christian. I want to say until I was like about 23, about last year to a year and a half ago. I was like, you know what? I think Christianity is going to be the thing that I'm going to rock with. Because again, at the end of the day, I feel like if you look into other religions, it all leads back to Jesus anyway. So I'm like, okay, if all the religions really do point back to that one guy, it's kind of got to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of got to be the guy. So, look into the Bible here and there. And slowly but surely, I'm a really shitty Christian. But at the end of the day, this is my main thing about Christianity. And this is why I like to show a lot of forgiveness. Even when I feel like people aren't deserving of forgiveness, I still like to show grace, still like to show forgiveness, because the forgiveness that you give unto others shall be the same forgiveness you will receive from the Lord. And that's why, people have noticed for the past year and a half, I'm still me. I'm still the same trash talking, douchebag, imbecile, schizoid man, blah, 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 that I've always been. I would actually say I've gotten worse over the past 2 years. After that psych ward trip, I've been getting worse, baby, especially the past month. Oh my God. But once I get into the deep talks and I talk about, the religious shit, that's when people understand who I am fundamentally, and that's why I like to show a lot of forgiveness onto others, because I feel like showing forgiveness to others will always be the route. My opinion. So if you have someone in your life that you feel like you should forgive, I think you should. Now, when I say forgiveness, I'm not saying you need to go down and be like, I forgive you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm saying. But just let it go. For a moment. It's not my problem no more. And you hear me say that shit a lot. Like, it's not my problem no more. That's not my problem. I don't care. It's not my problem no more. That's that. Not my problem. Don't care no more. And I think that's helped me with a lot of stress. I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest. And okay, it's not my fucking problem. What do you want me to do about it? yo, if I had a penny, if you guys had a penny for every time I said that, you would all be millionaires. It's not my fucking problem. What do you want me to do about it? That's it. That's real shit. But that's me. I'm your boy, Cole Raven. Like, favorite, share, most of the comments, subscribe. I'm going to catch y'all later. Let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.